Hello and welcome to level 4 of the Get Fit in 2025 series. This video is all about execution. We're taking action and then we're going to adapt as we go. This is all about playing and leveling up. If you haven't seen them yet, go watch the first 3 videos because this is a 5-part series, this being video 4. We have built our foundation. We have figured out our plan and our process of what we're going to do, how we're going to attack this. We've prepped and prepared for all of the hardships that are about to come our way. So now is the time where we actually start the mission. We're actually going to go play the game. We're actually going to go do the thing. This is where we really level up because all that planning, all that thinking is nothing if we don't actually take action and go do something. This video is about how to take that consistent action and adapt as you go. Now, just like in any game, just like in anything in life, really, nothing is going to happen overnight. Again, this is not a get fit quick scheme. We've done so much already. This is where we actually grind in order to learn and evolve. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, when it comes to execution, we need to take that first step. The only way to see progress is to begin. And I like this quote: action turns plans into reality. And in the first 3 videos, we did all the planning. In order to make that ideal image of you come to real life, come to reality, then we need to take some action. Here, level 4, we're actually gonna go do the thing. And then when we start this, it's gonna build momentum and it's gonna keep on rolling, and then our journey has started. What does doing it look like? Like we talked about in our plan, right? We have a workout schedule, we have a nutrition schedule, and this portion of it is sticking to that. It is actually doing that thing. Whatever your workout schedule was that you set back in level 2, doesn't matter if it's 2 times a week, 5 times a week, whatever it is, show up as you planned. This video is honestly actually very simple. It's just do it. This is Nike. We said what we're gonna do, now we gotta go do it. For your nutrition, you said you're gonna eat these things, whether your goal is to gain weight or lose weight, you gotta eat in a certain way. Are you doing it? This is the step where we actually do it. We're gonna go through that whole process of going to get the right groceries that we need, prepping those foods, eating them, staying disciplined and not eating other stuff that we didn't plan about. Here at this step, I want you to treat every workout and every meal as if it's like a mini mission in part of this whole bigger journey and quest. Every time you eat right, or every time that you do the workout, it's basically adding some more XP points to your character, and then you're gonna level up. And some tips for this step is to make these daily or weekly missions measurable. Put a number to it so that you can have something to look at and we'll be able to track progress later. That could look like walking 5,000 steps, walking 10,000 steps, doing X amount of workouts, running X amount of miles in under Y amount of time, eating YZ amount of healthy meals a week. Whatever it is, just put a number to it and then work towards that each week. Just break it down, right? This is a lifestyle. We want to break a life down into years, into months, into weeks, into days. Make sure at any chunk of that, you have something measurable that you're able to work towards and do so that we can measure this. I'm gonna talk about now, why do we want to measure and why do we want to track? It's gonna allow us to show how far we've come and what's working, what's not. When we have the data, then we'll be able to make data-driven decisions. And that just means looking at the numbers, looking at the data, seeing how we can improve, where we can improve, where our weak spots are. For fitness, for the workouts portion, maybe you're tracking your workouts in a workout tracker, in just a notebook, in a Notion page, just in your head, whatever it is. We want to be able to measure our improvements or our, like, where we're lacking. How much weight are you lifting? How many push-ups can you do? How long does it take you to do this thing? How far can you go with this thing? Whatever it is, right? Put a number to it, track it, and when you do that thing over and over, you're going to see that number either stay the same, get bigger, get smaller, whatever it is. You'll be able to track the direction that you're headed. And then from there, we can make tweaks as necessary. For the nutrition, we want to loosely keep a food journal, basically. Maybe that's I don't journal food, so I'm not going to tell other people that they should. It's definitely something maybe at the beginning that could help you build that habit and build like the gut feeling of something. So for example, if you have a grandparent or a mom that cooks, sometimes they're not necessarily following a whole recipe. They're just grabbing different seasonings and throwing it in because they've developed that feeling like this much salt is going to make it taste this way, this much sugar is going to make it taste this way, and then they just kind of know. For you at the beginning of the journey, you might not know how to hit X amount of protein per day, but if you're measuring at the beginning and then you see, how much you can eat each day, you'll have a feeling of like, this much chicken breast is basically how much is a healthy amount for me. In the beginning, I would say, kind of track down what you're eating, how you feel after you eat. Are you bloated? Are you hungry still? Are you tired? Are you energetic? Note those things down because that's going to help us figure out, how different foods affect you, what foods you like. Then from there, we'll see what you should eat more of or what you should eat less of. As part of tracking your progress, definitely for sure, take some progress photos. I feel like for me, I was not doing that as I started the beginning of my journey, so I don't really have a ton to look back on and even show you, sadly. Using those photos to see the progress that you've made or taking measurements or even just clothes. Your clothes starts fitting differently, then that's a sign that your body is changing. Whatever it is that we can use to monitor our progress, that's gonna help us a ton. Fair warning, when it comes to tracking these things, do not expect big changes over a short period of time. And when I say short period of time, I'm talking about like even a month is honestly a little bit short. So definitely don't be looking at this thing daily thinking why it's not drastically changing. All the improvements that we're about to make on this journey is gonna come over a period of time, period of weeks and months. So you gotta stay patient and don't obsess over these numbers that we're tracking. It's literally just for tracking purposes when we reflect periodically and then adjust accordingly. Which brings me to my next part, adjusting accordingly. When we've tracked things for a little while now, periodically, maybe it's weekly or bi-weekly, we wanna look at everything and then see how we're doing, what things are looking like. Are we happy with these results? Even though we spent a good amount of time strategically planning, no plan is perfect from the start, and we have to just start adapting as we go and we get new information. You know, when you adjust a little bit, it's gonna keep things a little more fresh. Keeping things fresh prevents burnouts, which is great. So let me give you some examples here. When it comes to your workouts, if you tracked it and you find that the numbers are just, you know, you're getting way stronger, that means you need to increase the intensity or increase the weight or the duration, whatever it is. Make it harder for yourself, essentially. If you look at the numbers actually and you realize that it's too hard for you, then that means you want to scale it back, okay? And then you can actually see progress. If it was too hard, that means you weren't able to overcome it. But if you can scale it back a little bit, then we're gonna build that confidence in your mind when you start seeing that number improve. For nutrition, if you're not seeing the results that you're trying to see and let's say you're trying to lose weight, but you're actually looking like you're gaining more weight, then we need to reassess your portion sizing and kind of your macros. Probably be eating less then. On the flip side, if you're trying to gain weight and you don't see that that's happening, that tells us that we need to be eating more. So that's why tracking your progress, however you do it, and then reflecting is going to show you where you're at and relative to where you want to be. Make the next move strategically. As I always say, just embrace the flexibility. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to see drastic results over a short period. Stay consistent over time. Just be patient and eventually you're going to see some change. For me, I used to be a very hard gainer. I just could not put on any sort of muscle and weight no matter how much I was eating. And then when I got a Fitbit and I saw that I was burning like 3,000, sometimes 4,000 calories a day, that's what really told me that I need to be eating a ton more than I currently was. Stay persistent. Watch my video on how to stay consistent. Do that over a long period of time and I promise you, you will eventually see results if you stick to it. Now, a couple of mental tips for this is you need to treat your setbacks, not failures, but learning moments. Okay, there's gonna be times where it just doesn't work out. Okay, it does not mean you're a failure. It does not mean that this is not gonna work for you in the long run. See what you can learn from this moment, from this failure. What are you doing wrong? Fix that thing and then keep going. Another thing that I didn't do much, but I would advise you to do is ask for feedback. If you got a trainer at your gym or you have a fit friend yourself, or you have me where you can put a comment, right? Just ask people, get some opinions, see what they think, find new things that you can try, and then go from there. As part of execution though, just try to keep things fun. This is a lifestyle, not a punishment, man. We want to make this enjoyable for ourselves so that we can just keep doing it and enjoy doing it rather than making this feel like it's homework or something like we have to do and it's just a drag. You don't want that feeling. Make this fun. Try new exercises, eat new foods that are healthy that you hear about, that you try new recipes, create different small goals, whatever it is to keep you excited, do that. And then finally, I just want to touch on it again. And I know I say this a lot, but consistency beats perfection. Progress compounds and stacks over time. We just want to focus on getting all these small actions correct each and every day as best as we can, and they'll all stack over time. And in a year's time, by the end of 2025, you will see a big change. Don't do this for a month and just expect, six packs to come. You got to put in the hard yard. You got to trust the process and stick with it. Long period of time, man. Long period of time. I don't want to keep saying it, but beat it into your head that this is a long game. Again, small, steady improvements leads to big results later on. Don't think about the big picture too much. Focus on just what's right ahead of you. Like, what can you do? Stick to the plan already. Another big thing that I would say is to focus on input and not outcomes. I've already kind of talked about it, but don't look in the mirror and just like, hey, I don't see the abs, this isn't working, I'm gonna give up. Do not do that. That's focusing on an outcome, like the result. We want to focus on our input, like what we're actually able to do and control, which is how we're working out, how we're eating, how we're resting, all of that. Focus on what you're doing there and tweak those if the results aren't showing. Do not just go by results only. Focus on the input and then the results will come. And that's all I have for you in this video. You have now entered the grind. This is where the real progress happens. By taking consistent action every day, tracking your progress, adapting as you need, by doing all those things, you're leveling up every day. You made the process and now you're sticking to the process and trusting the process. When you keep doing this over a long period of time, the goals that we have set out to do, the goals that this plan is made to achieve, it's going to come, okay? You just need to stay patient and stay persistent and just keep doing the thing right here. And eventually we're going to be where we want to be. There's one more part of this, and it's called winning the long game. We are now in the process and we know what we need to do, but how do we keep doing it for a long period of time? The plan was already made to do that, but next in this video, in the next and last video, we're going to talk about how to be able to continue doing this for months and years ahead. Like I said, I've been doing this 10 plus years. So I'm going to teach you how you can be smarter and create the systems to make this a lifestyle for real and not just a phase or a 1 year thing. We're going to be doing this for years, decades, for the rest of your life. So building sustainability to stay consistent. I will see you in the next video.